Okay, so I wanted just to share with you a little of my process here, what I'm doing. This is my Creative Critters Imaginations layout for this week for family. And yeah, this is the mess right now that I have going on. I just pulled out everything I thought that I would need, things that I might use, except for that red glitter. That's not going on the project. But yeah, this is the start of it. I did some of the stuff in Craft Room, and I will go ahead and show you some of the things that I did, especially this boat right here. Yeah, that's flood filled with my favorite textures cartridge, and I maneuvered the colors around, or the pattern, to get it right where I wanted to. So I'll show you how I did that and some of the other things I got going on here. So stay with me. Okay, we're here in Cricut Craft Room, and I'm going to show you how I went about kind of laying out my project. I used the matte layers, and over on the left hand side, if you can see here, I have my base page, which is this square here of this pattern. It's from the Imagine More Cards cartridge. So I created this as an 8x8 page. I actually made the square, as you can see up here, just a little bit larger, 1/8 of an inch, just so I have some room to work with in case I need to crop it, or if that size is going to work in my page protector. If I turn that off over here on the left, I click on the eyeball, it turns that off. I have my matte layer on a 3x5. This rectangle for my matte layer, and I did this the similar way I did the boat, which I'm going to show you next. But you can go in, and when you're doing a fill on your pattern, we'll go to the colors and patterns tab over here on the left. This has been flood filled, and once you have your image flood filled, you have some flexibility on what you want to do with that filled image. You can take your pattern, if you come over here and you see scaled pattern, and you can make that pattern bigger or down to the regular size that it makes it when it sticks it in there and flood fills. And you can also position your pattern, like if you want to get a certain section of it in. Like for example, down here, let me zoom in a little bit. I wanted to get the words, speak only words of kindness, that are right here on this pattern. I wanted that to be at the bottom because I'm going to position a ribbon and a slider over it, and I wanted those words to show. So what I did was I just took it and I positioned it down to where it was almost at the bottom. So then when my picture covers, it's going to cover to about here-ish, and then my ribbon and slider is going to cover over the For Beautiful Lips, which I don't want on there, but it'll cover that up, and then it'll only show these words down here below. Okay, we'll zoom out. We'll go to the matte layers. I'm going to turn this one off and turn on my boat, and I'm going to zoom back in on this as well, and I'll show you what I did here. I did a couple of things on this one. So here's our boat image. I'm going to go and refill this again so I can show you how I did this. And I took this from the texture cartridge. It's this image right here in the middle. It shows only a little bit of the orange and the yellow, but if you click on that, I have to take it off and then put it back on. We're going to click that on. Well, that's kind of a cool pattern. Okay, so this is how it showed originally, and I didn't want this orientation of the blue on the top and the red on the bottom. So I went over to my position and I moved things around, went up, went down. I had to go down for this, if I remember right. And there's the top of the image, which actually worked out perfect because the way it's separated, the bottom is the blue and the yellow and the red. So that's how I did that and get the pattern. And you can also scale it up, scale it down, do whatever you needed to do to get the coloring in there. but it actually kind of worked out pretty good for where I wanted to place my, you know, my colors. And then for the shadow feature, all I did was I came over to fill that, switched over to colors, and I picked this smoky gray color that matches the rest of the patterns on that cartridge. So that's what I did for that, and I went ahead and just printed them out, and we'll go back to the project and I'll show you how I finish things up. Okay, it's the 11th hour and I am finally just getting my project done. Excuse the mess on my desk, if you can even say that. I just got finished and I think I'm okay with the way this looks. You be able to tell earlier in the video that I made this on my Imagine. This paper is from Imagine More Cards. This is a picture of my grandfather, and he is on a boat and out in the water, and they've always had a boat. And that was something that they like to do. And I used here and here are shells that I had picked up from St. Augustine. And my grandparents had a place in St. Augustine, so I just thought it would be nice to put them on there. This picture of my grandmother, and these are some buttons that I had. My mom had, when they moved to Florida, she gave me a whole bunch of buttons and stuff, and I'm pretty sure these are for my grandmother, so I put them on the page too for her. And the doily that's back here is from the Art Philosophy cartridge. And I sprayed that with Glimmer Mist. I think it was Bubble Glimmer Mist. And these are flowers from Wild Orchid Crafts. And some bling from Prima. And on the S, I added a little bit of the gemstones, or the bling. I think that was like just the dollar bling from Michael's, in a really pretty blue that I didn't have, so I picked up, I think, 2 packages of those at the time. And over here on the B, I put some bling on that too, just to give it a little bit of pop there. And my mat is from Audrey, and I talked about that previously in the video too. And so that's it. And I don't know if you can notice, let me zoom in here. The pictures that I had were ones my mom had copied, and you can see like all the distress and the cracks in the pictures and around the edges of the pictures. And I really like that, and I wanted to try to keep that when I did the pictures. I put the pictures in, so there's some there. Just the imperfections in the pictures just make them, you know, just more special. So that's it. Oh, and I wrote the name SS Berry because their last name was Berry. So I just wrote that on the boat and added a little bit of gray Prima bling here for the wake behind the boat. So that's my project. I hope you like it. Thanks.